All right. Well, John and Kathy, I appreciate your willingness to share your story of your journey in attending the Secrets to Creating Loving Relationships that no one was ever taught. And, there's a power in hearing from people who are actually experiencing the programs. And so, John, if you would, let's just start out with you. Where would you say you were starting off at the beginning before you attended and did any work with us? Where would you say you were before?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of times people don't know where they are. I'm one of those people. I didn't know where I was. I mean, life is kind of progressive. I believe that we're progressing toward more and more freedom. And so we're looking for something that will take us in that direction. So I thought this class would be profitable for that. How much freedom do I have at this point? That some, but there's always more.
So in the beginning, when you were first thinking about attending the program with Kathy, did you even know what kind of pain issues or struggles that you were having?
Well, in some sense, I do, coming from the background that I came from, and I don't know that I need to get into that right now, but I know it's a journey. We've all been through issues, and certainly I have two very dark issues from the past, and so they're kind of in the back of my mind, but I wasn't necessarily looking to maybe resolve all those issues during this course. I think the main reason why I got into it, I'm not a goal-oriented person. I know, Bill, you are. Never have been. I only have one goal, and that has always been God. That's been my goal. But I know in these kinds of settings and these kinds of courses, there's opportunity for conversation that you don't normally have, in your day-to-day life with your wife. And so that's what I was looking for. Just an opportunity to maybe talk about things that we don't normally talk about, go places where we don't normally go, and maybe exposing ourselves, revealing some certain things about ourselves. So I wasn't looking at it as what's the right word? As anything more than an opportunity to have conversation. And I didn't want to work at it, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to work at it. I just wanted to kind of have it be fun.
All right. And for you, Kathy, before you started with the program, where would you say you were?
I think I had a lot of hidden issues from my childhood and past that I think I've thought I dealt with, but I didn't really. And so when they started, as we're going on in the program, different topics were brought up, and that's where I really started to dig into this and how it was affecting the marriage. Because when you're not free of some of the things from the past, you tend to bring them into your current situation. And so that's where I was.
And what were you hoping to take place as a result of participating in this? What were you hoping would happen?
I felt like there was a lot of blockages, and one of them, because we had taken several courses of yours, and so I dealt with some issues. But this last time, it was about my eating and also creating an environment of total unconditional love, which was what I was really looking for, listening more and caring more about what John was saying, what others were saying.
And John, for you early on in the program, what were some of the improvements that you immediately saw taking place as a result of being a part of it?
Yeah. Well, I think in the conversation, again, it was an opportunity to say things that you don't normally say, in your day-to-day conversation. Most of us go to, or at least we go to church, and we meet on Sunday, we have superficial conversation, we leave, and you never really have conversation that is of any depth. And this was an opportunity to have a conversation to dig into certain issues. I have issues, a lot of them, but you got to talk about these things. I really believe, and I know that it's true, that the more you expose yourself, the freer you can be, the freer you get. And so, again, this was an opportunity to do that. And so, I'm trying to think, what was the question again?
Improvement.
Improvement.
So yeah, so as I talk about these things, then you open up. It's kind of like, you know what you say about Bill, your flappers being closed as you discuss and talk about and reveal things about yourself. You open up, and I have to admit, I have not been the most open person in the past. And I'm not a particularly social person. My wife is the social part of the family here, but at any rate, that I just wanted to have fun being social, which I don't normally do.
And for you, Kathy, what experience or improvement did you experience early on in the program? Kathy, what experience or improvement did you have after the program?
Well, there were several different things: rejection, being a female, losing my voice, self-protecting, moving towards trusting towards trust by doing the rejection healing codes, dealing with all those issues one at a time. Doing the healing codes was very helpful to me. And my greatest improvement is going through the healing codes is that I was able to go through and understand other people's rejection issues that were similar to mine. And then I started to have more compassion for other people. And also just seeing my own selfishness and bringing myself to repentance for some of my rejection issues really gave me I think pretty much everyone has had rejection. And I went through 15 different memories of rejection and did the healing code for each one of those, spending quite a bit of time. And after the end of it, I was completely free. Just all that stuff was clutter. Probably the biggest breakthrough for me was when I began to realize that my eating was came across through when we did a section on curses, that I had this fear of my father's anger and how it was controlling me. And then I connected my initial thing of this eating problem to this curse of not being able to confront my father. And then through the program, Bill actually became my father image, so that I could actually tell him for the first time how I felt about him. And that really broke something off of me that I just never ever thought to do that. And that was totally liberating.
John, how about for you? After the program, what were the benefits or improvements you've seen in yourself and your marriage?
Well, I think we're a little more open, willing to talk about things. I don't know, we, in a certain sense, we were always somewhat open, but, again, opportunity seems like you need to have a special opportunity to talk about these things. And then they provoke things in your mind, these things about rejection, things about, what was it, depression. I can't remember the number of things that we talked about. I mean, you don't think about these things normally in the course of life. You just go on from day to day, and these things they have their impact on your life, and you don't really understand or what's going on, or you just think that's the way you are. But when you really kind of delve into these things, so again, it gets back, to freedom, to be myself, freedom to be with other people, freedom to be transparent, freedom to get closer to God. Because I think as I develop freedom with people and freedom to be myself, then that opens a bigger pathway, a bigger connection with the Lord. And that's, quite honestly, that's the goal of my life, really, is to have that relationship with the Lord. And your relationship with people is pretty strongly connected with that relationship.
And before you knew us, there might have been some doubt or some skepticism or wondering before you participated with us at all. Did you have any skepticism or wondering if any of this could really work or not, Kathy?
No, I don't know, maybe I'm a trusting person, but I don't know, I just saw you have really a lot of confidence in your ability to work with people. And I just went gung-ho and wanted to just be able to experience more love, more cues as to how to be a better person, how to better communicate, and do it in a loving way. So,
John, how about for you? What would you say? Did you have any doubts or wondering if any of this would really make any difference?
I don't know that I thought about it that much. I always, again, when we first got married, because we got married late, I was 62 when I got married to Kathy. I'm older now. I'm, 76, so we were married for a little while. But I realized that when I got married, I was going to need help because marriage is not something. As I saw, in church and couples that I knew, and so many people getting divorced, realized, that marriage is not something. It's not what's the right word there? It's not that easy, because you both come with different issues, you both have different backgrounds, you both have different normals, if I can use that term, and so, I knew that I needed something like this in order, to be able to talk about things that I wouldn't normally talk about, again, in our day-to-day conversation. So I needed a help, and so I think, this course and, any course that you can take regarding marriage where you can be transparent and free and open to talking about things with your spouse. I mean, in order to deepen, I know that in order to deepen your relationship with your spouse, you have to be open. And the more open you can be, the more opportunity there is for love. That when you close down, and it seems like a lot of times couples get closed down. They get hurt. Somebody hurts, the other, and then they hurt back, and there's tit for tat. And after a while, they're living together, but they're not having a real relationship. They're kind of, strangers, two strangers in the same bed. So I didn't want that, so I knew I needed some help, in my marriage relationship, and I still do. I mean, I would take another course like this, because I think as long as I'm on this earth and married to my wife, I still need help in this area, and God gives me some help, but it's good to have people like Bill and Linda to give you a little more.
And Kathy, for someone who's listening to this that is on the fence, they're deciding whether or not to take our program or not, what would you say to them?
I would just say dive in, no holes barred, really just treat yourself to freedom. And I think it's just an amazing program. I would recommend it to anyone. And even if you're afraid to go in that place because maybe one partner is not that excited about this, I think give it a try. And I think your husband would be pleasantly surprised at the ability that Bill and Linda have of getting us to express our love to one another, even when it's difficult, or, you know, if you're coming up against a situation where you have a disagreement, they're artful in being able to not manipulate, but to be able to make the make the growth that's actually going on while you're taking the course to actually come out and be practiced. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
John, how about for you? What would you say to someone who is trying to figure out if they want to participate or not? What would you say to them?
Well, I don't know. It seems like to me this course would be good for anyone, whether they're married or not. I mean, you know, if you want to be single your whole life, it may not have as much value, but I don't know that even then it probably would. You know, it just depends on how good you are at relating to other people. And the first and most important person, other than God, is your wife. You know, and so, you know, the Lord wants us to be one. You know, and so, you know, and you need help. You need help with this, and I think everybody needs help. Everybody can benefit from it. You know, and I would say give it a try and enjoy it. Have fun with it. Don't make it, you know, laborious. You know, I mean, you're going to have to do a little soul searching probably, and you're going to have to face a little fear because maybe there's things that you don't want to reveal that need to be revealed for your good. You know, these hidden things in our lives, they have an effect on our health. You know, a lot of people, you know, have stress because of, you know, this distance between a husband and wife, you know, and so, you know, you don't want to let these things build and build and build and build and stress continue until you have some kind of health issue. So I think, you know, all in all, this will help you, body, soul, and spirit. Just try it, get in there, enjoy it. Don't get all uptight. I mean, I know I do sometimes, but.
And I think you have to work, you really have to work at this. I mean, it's not something that you can just take and do nothing. You really have to practice and work at it. And it's worth it for your marriage, I think, to be able to get breakthroughs in different areas. And as you go along in the course, you get different breakthroughs, and those will keep engendering something, some new energy to go into a different place. So it's work, but it's beneficial.
Awesome. Very nice. You did it.
For better or for worse.
Yay, we did it. Oh
Yeah. Let me stop this recording here.